Okay, FM 101.7.
Okay, 101.7. So, any Professor John Gatsi, UCC, University of Cape Coast, School of Business. Prof, good morning.
Good morning.
And how's life treating you, sir?
By the grace of God, I'm fine.
Yeah. Sir, can you share a thought with us as to what is happening on the closure of about 360 something savings and loans companies and its effects on the nation and the customers and the workers as well?
Well, I think we have been informed by the Bank of Ghana that they are doing cleaning in the microfinance sector. That is to say, they want to assess and see those microfinance institutions who are well capitalized, who are well managed, to continue to work, and those who are not falling in that category, they revoke their license. So they succeeded in revoking over 340 licenses. Now, that has some implications. The first implication is that microfinance is built on the principle that the normal banking sector is not able to provide small loans to our micro business people, our mothers, our aunties in the market, our farmers, our fisher folks. So microfinance is a critical and sensitive intervention which is closer to all these people, especially in the rural economy, helping them to participate in economic activity. If over 300 microfinance institutions go down, what it means is that access to credit, financial inclusion in the rural setting, in the rural economy, is going to be affected negatively, hence the entire economy. Of course, we do know that revoking a license of over 300 microfinance institutions means loss of jobs. Not only loss of jobs, but also we will now have people who will be going through psychological trauma, because if people are earning something, it is not even enough, then all of a sudden they will not earn anything, and they will not be in position to take care of their families and themselves. That definitely generates psychological trauma for our people, and that is terrible. The other one is that some people have been depending on some of these microfinance institutions. Some have borrowed money. It means that when things like this happen, it becomes difficult for some of them to even go and pay. Liquidity challenge will be setting in. Then some people have become accustomed to some of these microfinance institutions. It will now be difficult for them to now start looking for some microfinance institutions and deal with. The thing again is that microfinance is supposed to be closer to the people. So the closeness have been removed. So there will be a gap. That gap will not be filled now. So this challenge will set in. And of course, people will also be looking at what happened in the banking sector and see the lesson they have learned. The people knew the promise that were given, and those promises were not fulfilled. So if they hear that they have collapsed this number of microfinance institutions, the people are aware that as a result of the collapse of the bank, some of the banks, GM Bank, Gopal Security, and the rest, were not in position to pay workers, depositors, and investors money. So this same thing is likely to happen. So you see people rushing into existing microfinance institutions trying to collect their money. Then those people with the microfinance institutions which were pulled down or whose licenses were revoked, or for that matter, they are no more in business, they will also now be lamenting as to how to get their money. The government indicated consolidated bank. Remember, it is the same consolidated bank that was established to take care of those banks and to pay the deposit put in by Ghanaians and businesses. Up to now, many businesses cannot get their money, and many individuals cannot get their money, setting in liquidity challenge in the system. So people will be asking themselves, is it not the same thing that is going to happen? And of course, Bank of Ghana informed us that they have gone through everything. That is why they are taking this decision. But now, we are being told by the consolidated bank that they are now going to review the records that they have, and that will take them up to next month. If by next month they are not able to pay people, then you can imagine what will be happening in the country. So I think those are the observations that I can put across to you.
Sir, what I understand is that customers' fates are in limbo as to when they are going to get what they've put in there. What can we do to salvage such a situation?
Can you ask your question again?
What I understand is that customers' fate are in limbo as to what they will do to get their money back. And what can we do to salvage such a situation?
The only thing is to establish the trust. The trust is not there. It is financial sector. Money is such that you can be very fine with anybody, your family, friends, etc. But when it comes to money matter, the first priority is trust. So if you did something in the past, that shows that you shouldn't be trusted. If you're not careful, it will run through. I just told you that when banks were collapsed, today, companies are not able to collect their money. Today, individuals are not able to collect their money. Asset management companies are not able to get their money. In fact, even microfinance companies have their money in those banks that were collapsed. They are not able to get those money. So, if you then now collapse about over 340 microfinance institutions, do you expect the people to trust that you are going to give them their money readily? Definitely so. No. So, if we read in the graphic that over thousands of microfinance depositors money are in limbo, or they are confused as to whether they are going to get their money or not, it is because of the signaling effect from the way we handle the banking sector situation. So the government of Ghana will now have to ensure that trust is restored in its activities. You say Consolidated Bank is going to give them their money in 10 days. Then Consolidated Bank comes and say that now before we are going through the records, so they should give it up to next month. So the mistrust is being strengthened. So you will see people now agitating, looking for their money, just because of the element of mistrust.
Sir, where do we lay the blame? The savings and loans companies or the BOGs who negated their duty of supervisory role?
Yeah, we can blame the BOG, but the truth again is that the BOG doesn't have the capacity to supervise, monitor, and effectively regulate the microfinance sector. Truth must be told. It is their duty, but they don't have the capacity. Why am I saying so? Now let's talk about over 500 microfinance institutions across the country. How would the Bank of Ghana be able to visit them regularly, go into their books, monitor their management, take all these over 500 various reports, review, etc.? It is actually difficult. Even the location of some of the microfinance institutions in the hinterland service, the rural economy with microcredit and ensuring financial inclusion through micro savings and etc. So over the years, the Bank of Ghana in a way has relegated that duty to microfinance associations. Then the question comes in: how will you leave a sensitive sector such as the financial sector to be self-regulated by some association who members themselves have microfinance institutions? The regulation will not be effective. They may just be trying their best, but how can you bite? It becomes very difficult. So virtually the microfinance sector was not effectively regulated, monitored, and supervised over a long period of time. So I thought if the Bank of Ghana has awakened that, look, we have not been able to effectively deal with this sector, the first thing that they should be thinking about is establishing a separate regulatory institution that will be very close to the microfinance sector to effectively regulate, effectively supervise, effectively monitor, and provide timely report to Bank of Ghana for onward review and action to be taken. But that has not happened up to today. So that is why the problem lies. So yes, one can say Bank of Ghana, but it is because Bank of Ghana in reality doesn't have that capacity to do so. And again, we also need to blame those people who establish microfinance institutions. Anytime you are dealing with people's money, you must first of all check yourself whether you have ability to manage people's money. It's not everybody that has the ability to manage money belonging to others. So you need to check whether you have the required management, the required attitude towards handling people's money before you enter. You need to follow the processes that are allowed within the management of microfinance. Some don't have, and some don't care to apply them. Then the next one is the economy. That is account to government, the management of the economy. If you are managing an economy when the interest rate is high, it is an incentive for people who take loans to default. Mm-hmm. Because how would they pay? Let's say you go to a bank, you take a loan of 28% per annum. And that loan, when you take it, the next month you start paying. What work will you do to start paying the loan immediately? You would have started using the loan instead to start paying the interest. So you may not even use the money very well, and you are called upon immediately to start paying. That is not possible with the high interest rate. People will definitely default, and that is why when you go to the Bank of Ghana, its own report, the default rate coming from our domestic participants in the financial sector is more than 76%, contributing to non-performing loans in the country. That tells you that there is something fundamentally wrong with the high interest rate regime. And it is the duty of government to manage the economy to ensure a lower interest rate that will help people to be responsible in terms of repayment.
Sir, our customers are assured that their money would be back to their pockets in the wake of what is happening.
Yes, they have been assured, but the moment this thing happens, it's not only the assurance, but how soon the money will come. Because some people need it to turn around. So they cannot wait for a longer period. The money will be there in your name in the books, but you want liquidity. You want the money to undertake business activities. Majority of people who participate in microfinance is because they are saving small to do small businesses. Because they want to have access to small loans to do their small businesses and their micro businesses. So they can't wait for long.
Okay. Sir, what would you propose to government as a financial expert?
Well, I would have proposed to government that they should put together the lessons learned in the banking sector reform and review their approach before they get to the microfinance sector. But I think it's a choice they have to make. They believe that the approach they use for which there is liquidity problem, people have their investments, the consolidated bank and the rest will have to cut the interest for the people, elongate the investment period is the best. So they are repeating the same approach. Even institutions such as the NCHC and co, which are supposed to be linked to government, are also having liquidity problems because of the approach we have used. So I think the best advice would have been, please work with the lessons you have learned. But I don't think that is what is happening.
Okay. We thank you so much for talking to us, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Professor John Gatsi, a lecturer at the University of Cape Coast School of Business, and I know I'm checking on K101.7.
Okay, FM 101.7.